in the national election, it still remains jobs and the general economy, particularly in those swing states like Ohio and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, Michigan, although Ohio seems to be the critical one where the auto industry is very, very big. If Obama were to win Ohio, which he seems to be leading right now, it's going to be as a result of the auto bailout and the jobs that came from it, which is why Romney is trying to portray Obama as someone who really didn't fix the problem in Ohio in terms of jobs. There will be another jobs report out on Friday, tomorrow, that may or may not impact the election in terms of Obama or Romney. If it were a continued decrease in the percentage of unemployed and an increase in the number of jobs, that would certainly be a bonus to Obama in the last couple of days. But the economy, the debt, the issue of taxes and who pays them, and jobs, of course, there are still millions of Americans who are either unemployed or underemployed or have failed to even begin looking again after being unemployed for a long time. Obama's argument is that we're making progress, steady progress. Just give him another 4 years so he can continue this. The Romney argument is that 4 years is plenty of time to try to straighten this out, and only marginal progress has been made in the area of jobs and the economy in general. So there's this argument that do you give somebody 4 more years because there is some signs of new life, or do you reject this individual and go to somebody new because the change has not been fast enough or has been wide enough in order to encompass more people? So that'll be the argument that the American voters will have to determine, particularly in those swing states, is do we want to move forward, so to speak, because things are getting better, or do we want to change a guy because he hasn't done enough in a faster way or in a more comprehensive or wider scope? In terms of the election and who the victor is, I would have to be a mind reader simply because, and this is no way to get out of it, is that it's just too close. And there's not a poll that doesn't show 1 or 2 percentage points either way within the statistical margin of error. Even in some of the major swing states like Ohio, Virginia, Colorado, Wisconsin, Iowa. These are all either 1 or 2 percentage points. Michigan and Pennsylvania now, which were considered to be maybe toss-up states, look like they're going for Obama, which is good. But again, it's Ohio that's critical. But no one is making a prognostication, unless you're a diehard Romney fan or a diehard Obama fan, saying that it's going to go one way or the other. It's just too close to call. Although the important thing is that when you see these polls that say nationally Romney's up by 1 percentage point or nationally Obama's up by 1 percentage point, it's the Electoral College that elects the president. So you look at the states, you want to see how Ohio is going, how Florida, how Virginia, how Wisconsin, how Colorado are going. That's where you want to see it. But in every one of those states, it's too close to call, so you really can't say how that's going as well. I will go out on a limb, though, and say that there does seem to be a slight trend in the president's favor over the last couple of days. Very, very small, but he does seem to have gotten back some of that huge loss that he did as a result of that terrible performance in the first debate. Since that debate and the other two that followed, and now with Sandy and his performance, which generally people are looking at in a positive way, he's starting to creep back up and close the margin with Romney to the point where it's either a tie or he's very, very close behind. In some states, in some polls, he's ahead. So if we're talking about momentum, I think it's Romney had it for a good amount of time, for about 3 weeks after that first debate. Now I think Obama is starting to chip away at that. The question is it too little, too late, and how might that play out on Tuesday? So I think Obama, he's kind of trending slightly in his favor, but I would be foolhardy to say one way or the other, because no one can say it. There's not a prognosticator out there or pundit, unless you're the campaign chair of Romney or of Obama. They of course will say that, but they're paid to say that. So right now, too close to call, and that's the only way you can describe it. On the state level, it's really been a mixed bag there. One day in one poll you see Warren's up, the next day with another poll you see Warren's down or Brown is up. Again, a lot of it will come out to turnout. Massachusetts historically is a Democratic state, so in theory, if the Democrats get their people out, that gives Warren a considerable edge, I would think, if they get their people out, and if those people who claim they're Democratic or are independent leaning to Democratic, then I think you could see a Warren victory, but there's not a poll out there that is consistently for one or the other. They're up and down, in and out, within the margin of error. Again, too close to call. But as I say, I guess you'd have to give a little bit of an edge right now to Warren if the Democrats turn their people out, which is a huge if.